Going to the farmer's market is a great way to get local produce, eggs, and meat. But some market vendors have some very concerning practices that may shock and even horrify you. Hi, my name's Nick, and welcome to the Rig & Farm YouTube channel. My wife Ashley and I own and operate a small farm in North Georgia, and we sell at a couple different farmers markets. This season alone, we've seen some pretty scary stuff, and we've heard some horror stories from other vendors that sell at other markets. Let's first talk about why you should shop at your local farmers market. Buying from a small local farm is going to be your best option if you don't raise your own animals or have a garden of your own. The flavor, nutrition, and safety of meat, dairy, and eggs is directly connected to how the animals are raised. Animals raised outside on pasture without the use of vaccines, hormones, and antibiotics are definitely going to yield the best possible product. But the quality and size of the pasture is going to play a critical role on the quality of the meat. For example, some farmers claim that their pigs are pastured, but what that actually means is they do have access to some outside area away from the barn. I've seen what some of these pastures look like. It's nothing more than a 50-foot by 50-foot square of fencing surrounding a mud pit. Our pigs are rotationally grazed on 2 acres of wooded pasture their entire lives. All of our animals get plenty of exercise, a varied diet of seasonal forage, as well as low stress levels and social lives. Those are some happy pigs. It costs more money and takes way more time to raise animals this way, but we believe it's the most ethical method of farming livestock, and our customers really appreciate the end product. Purchasing produce from a grocery store is not such a good idea. The majority of produce is grown with chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and fungicides, most of which are known carcinogens. Even USDA organic produce is allowed to be grown with approved organic synthetic chemicals. Almost half of those organic-approved chemicals are actually banned in the EU because Europeans know that they are proven to be carcinogenic. There is not a single fungicide that is safe for human consumption, and they're put on pretty much every single crop in the entire United States. And by the way, post-harvest, all produce, whether or not it's organic, is handled the exact same way. All produce imported into the United States from other countries is either fumigated or irradiated to kill pests. But in the process, it also kills the nutrients and flavor, in addition to probably making you sick. The long journey from farm to distributor to grocery store means that none of the produce is fresh and very little of the fruit is actually picked when it's ripe because they need to extend the shelf life before it hits the shelf. This is where the farmer's market is the superior choice. But can you trust the vendors? The most beautiful and scariest thing about the farmer's market is the limited regulation. It made us sick to our stomachs to find out that there were vendors at farmer's markets that literally go and buy produce from a store and then sell it at the farmer's market. The whole point of going to the farmer's market is buying fresh local produce directly from the farmer. Another concern you should be worried about is some of these vendors at the farmer's market are actually using the exact same chemicals on their produce that the mega farms use. We were curious to see what kind of eggs were being sold at a local farmer's market, so we sent a friend in with some cash and told them to buy a dozen eggs for us. We didn't really want to know where the eggs came from, and we didn't want them to know that we were going to be buying their eggs to compare to ours. We didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. The very first thing we noticed was that there wasn't a label on the carton. By law, eggs sold to the public must have a label containing the address of the farm, the size and grade of the eggs, safe handling instructions, as well as an expiration date. We also noticed that the eggs weren't washed. By law, when selling eggs to the public, you have to collect them multiple times a day, wash them, dry them, candle them, and then refrigerate them. We do that every single day. While we were at it, we also decided that we would compare these eggs to some grocery store free-range eggs. The store-bought eggs were properly collected, cleaned, and labeled. We're going to let you see for yourselves the difference between our eggs, the farmer's market eggs, and the grocery store eggs. Form your own opinion. Grocery store eggs? Other farmer's market vendor? Our eggs. You see that dark orange yolk? That is from healthy and happy pastured chickens. As I mentioned earlier, there are vendors out there selling quote-unquote pasture-raised meats. Raising a few dozen animals on less than 1/10 of an acre does not constitute as pastured in my book. Right now we have 7 pigs on about 2 acres. That's what we consider pasture-raised. I'm going to show you what our pork looks like. Our pork is a much deeper red than what you find at the grocery store. That color is from the diet and the exercise our pigs get. The meat is also more beefy in flavor, and the fat melts at room temperature. It also has less saturated fat and more omega-3s than anything you'll ever find at a grocery store. We've also seen some other shady things going on at the farmer's market in the way of sampling. I have nearly 20 years in the restaurant industry, a culinary arts degree, and I've been food safety certified for 2 decades. I know my stuff when it comes to food safety. I've seen people cook samples of meats and let them sit out for more than 4 hours at a time. Not once have I seen a thermometer to check temperatures of anything. We're not trying to call out anyone specifically, but we thought this is extremely important information that our viewers should know. Obviously, we're huge supporters of shopping at the local farmer's market, but we want to make sure that you know how to ask the right questions before you buy any meat, produce, eggs, or anything else from your local vendors. Ask about the animals' living conditions and what they're fed. Find out how the produce is grown. We absolutely love it when our customers ask us questions like this. We have nothing to hide. Asking questions like these shows that you really care where your food comes from and that you prioritize the health of you and your family. We're currently writing a book that goes into detail about conventional and organic farming practices versus what we do here on our small farm. It's also a cookbook that showcases the ingredients we produce on our farm. In this photo, you can see chicken roasted with a thyme, lemon, and garlic compound butter under the skin, along with roasted yellow cauliflower and roasted beets with goat cheese. These are just a few examples of the recipes, of about 50 in total, you'll find in our book. We're launching a Kickstarter campaign on July 1st, and you'll be able to go there and pre-order a book at a discounted price. We're going to have paperback and hardcover physical copies of the book, as well as an ebook, all with stunning photographs, great information, and awesome recipes. We've been working really hard on this book and already have several chapters written, in addition to doing lots of recipe testing and taking photographs. We're expecting to have our book published and shipped out on December 1st, assuming that we get our project fully funded. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell if you haven't already, because you won't want to miss our launch video that has a link to where you can get your copy of our book. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.